All right, guys, today we got a real special guest. You may not know him by name, but he's worked with some of your favorite artists and helped A&Rs, some of the biggest projects. I'm talking about Eminem, Canibus, Chino XL, DMX, and more. I'm talking about the one and only almighty M80. You getting your dance on?
Yeah, buddy. You know, if no one else is going to champion your shit, you got to do it yourself.
Right, man. How you doing today?
I'm good, man. I just brought home my new vehicle. I added a Rolls Royce to the fleet. And, you know, my parents are like, what the hell's wrong with you? And I'm like, you created this monster. Well, you should know. That's what it is. And, you know, all the neighbors come out and they're like, God damn, where are you putting that thing? I'm like, probably on the street. They're like, you are hilarious. I'm like, I'm not kidding.
How many vehicles you got?
8.
8.
Yeah.
Damn, man.
Because sometimes you're going to want to drive multiple cars in a day. Otherwise, just one a day will suffice.
All right, so I like to cover things in chronological order. So let's start at the beginning. Where are you originally from?
I hail from Toledo, Ohio, hence the company name Holy Toledo Productions, which is a very famous saying amongst Toledoans.
How would you describe Toledo to people that have never been there before?
Toledo is ranked as the second most miserable city in America. It's you know, as middle class as it gets, and it's wholesome. I had a very wholesome upbringing with very, you know, just down to earth, like good-hearted, good-natured people. And as I moved to places like California and New York, especially with women, they would always, you know, ask like, "You're not from here, are you?" And I'd say, "No, I'm from the Midwest." They'd be like, "Yeah, I can tell, like, because it seems like you actually care when I'm speaking." That was big amongst the ladies. Like, yes, I actually do care.
So how many years did you live there for?
Toledo until I was 13.
And then you ended up moving where?
From Toledo, Ohio to Indianapolis, Indiana.
And what was the driving factor for the move?
Oh, my father lost his job as an administrator for St. Bede's Hospital and then became either the president or the vice president of a company called Star Alliance in Indianapolis, Indiana. That's essentially like the Midwest version of the DARE program, which people think is hilarious. Like, I was an avid dealer of drugs in my formidable high school and early college years. So, you know, that's kind of like its own Breaking Bad scenario. That my dad spent his entire, he's retired now, and my mom's about to retire at the end of this year. But my dad spent his entire working career in like the philanthropic field, between Star Alliance, and he worked for the Simon Property Group. Every time they would acquire a new property, they would fund a school for like at-risk youth. So my dad oversaw all the schools. But my dad worked as an administrator for the Red Cross, and he ended his work career working for the A&R Foundation, which is for like autistic behavioral issues.
Wow. So what did your mom end up doing for work?
My mom was a primary school educator. She taught Sunday school. She worked many years for my grandpa's furniture business in Toledo, Ohio. And she is now a famous interior decorator in Indianapolis, Indiana.
And you grew up with one brother?
Yeah, I have one older brother. Hey, check this out mid-interview. Yes, I would like a sandwich.
Would you like ham or turkey?
Turkey, cheese, mayo, lettuce, bacon. I got bitches making me sandwiches that aren't my wife.
How would you describe yourself as a kid?
I was always like the class clown type. Just kind of like, some people call it a loner. I just call it like socially ambitious. You know, I was like friends with every group of people, especially in high school. Like, and you know, oh, those are the cool kids, and these are the rock kids, these are the skater kids, these are the art kids. And it's like, I was already M80, the artist. So it's like, I'm talking to everyone because every person's a potential sale and every person's a potential connection to something. You know, that's what people, I think reflecting back on like high school and college, I never had that issue, but a lot of people just stick to their niche. So they don't understand, like, for a creative like myself that went from creative to executive, like, you want to know as many people as possible. You want to be plugged in as many circles as possible because you never know what opportunities are going to present itself from where.
And that made you like a much more like well-rounded person too, I'm sure, just being able to interact with everyone.
Because at my core, I genuinely care about others.
Mm-hmm.
And I would not probably be that way if it was not for interacting with people from all different socioeconomic, life paths, um, races, creeds, ethnicities, you know, socioeconomic statuses, whatever it is. It's like I find the good in people and try to only see that until I'm proven otherwise.
So how would you describe your childhood as far as like the traditional, like was the household traditional? Like was it very religious?
No, we were Judaism is like Orthodox, Reform, and conservative. My family's conservative. We're your typical Ashkenazi Jews. Um, like so, like we can have a cheeseburger. We could have chicken and dairy and stuff like that. Like like Orthodox Jews have never had like a cheeseburger. Like it's crazy. Could you imagine going through life without having a cheeseburger? I can't. I don't want to live in that kind of world.
It has to be kosher, right?
Yeah. Yes. So, we still like worked on the weekends and played and like did activities, whereas like, other sects of Judaism like shut down and stuff like that. And those are like your observing days. And on the seventh day, God rested and so on and so forth. Well, the Almighty Almighty God, he works every day. He gets very little rest. I'm exhausted right now. I've been clocking 100 plus hours a week between actual work to maintain my family and this book I'm writing that's coming out November 3rd called 100 Ways I Almost Died While Working in the Rap Industry, based on a fuck ton of true stories. And my God, it is excellent.
Right. And we're going to talk about that later.
Yeah.
Do you remember when you fell in love with hip hop specifically?
Yes. Around fifth or sixth grade. So between age like 11 and 12. So around 1992, 93. I took all my music cues from my older brother. In fact, I did an album. It's a Toledo themed album. The group is called Glass City. The album's called Homegrown, Internationally Known. And I talk about it in my verse on a song called Hip Hop Glory. And it like basically attributes everything I learned about hip hop and fell in love with to my older brother, Steve. Um, you know, that was my role model. And I like his friends were my friends, and I was little bro and got to like, do like older people shit as a kid. Me and my brother are almost 8 years apart. So on one end of the spectrum, my brother would listen to and introduce me to stuff like Dr. Dre and Snoop and Cypress Hill and Bone and Beastie Boys and Tribe Called Quest. And then on the other end of the spectrum, I grew up loving grunge rock music. So Pearl Jam and Stone Temple Pilots and Alice in Chains and Blind Melon and Violent Femmes and, the list goes on and on and on. So it's like, even to the present day, if you follow me online, you can constantly find me at rock concerts. Like you have to like get that out of you. That's like, I listen to all genres of music with the exception of country. Like I never was a country dude, but you can find me at jazz clubs and blues clubs and rock shows. And, that's just like being musically ambitious, is realizing that anyone that really listens to just one genre of music is essentially pigeonholing their life and not really living their full potential, because every art form has so much to offer in its own.
Right. What was it about hip hop specifically that spoke to you?
Like what we used to just label as the poetry of it, the lyricism, the like profound nature of putting pen to paper and giving birth to stories you create in your head. Like hip hop was always very storytime based in its inception. And then it became reality rap. So it's like, it wasn't just about how creative you could be. A lot of people are literally just rapping their livelihoods. Um, you don't even, whether you would classify any other genre of music, like let's use rock as an example. Even if you would classify rock as something similar, it doesn't have the same takeaway effect as when you're listening to rap music, because you feel like that person's really pouring their own heart and their story into rhyme form, into a song.
Mm-hmm.
That was what drew me to hip hop.
So you started rapping around 13, was it?
Yeah, yeah. And that's when it was not cool at all. Like the cool kids in my junior high were the ones that played in rock bands. No one rapped. I think I was literally like the first rapper in my junior high. And
Wow.
then when I was in high school, is when I started recording my first tapes and all that. And that's when I got heavy into the battle scene. Like I was unbeatable on the Indianapolis battle circuit. I know there's still artists out there, big name motherfuckers, pissed off they took L's to me coming up back in the day, like your Rhyme Fest and people like that.
So your original rap name was Eminem, which is your initials, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's so funny when Crooked Eye introduced me to Eminem, he's like, "Please, here's a list of rules, but here's rule number one: do not tell him you're the original Eminem, because yeah, I'm Matthew Nathaniel Markoff and he's Marshall Bruce Mather, so I'm Eminem for real." But that I went by the letters Eminem on my early freestyles, and then I didn't have a name for a few years. I just went by Markoff. Then, oddly enough, for like two tapes, if you have these cassette tapes, they got to be worth money. I went by the name Sir Slick Sack, which is SSS. And back in the day when we were, doing illicit activities, my pager code was 777, which is, triple S Sir Slick Sack. In June, let's see, my junior year of high school is when I became M80. I was coming home from swim practice one day with my friend Justin, and we're listening. I don't remember what album, but he's like, "You know what, dude? You should change your name to M1000." And I look at him. I'm like, "You know what? That is the dumbest name I ever fucking heard." And we were both laughing about it. And we're sitting there like playing with the M. I'm like, M80. Now that's something. He's like, "What's it mean?" I'm like, M80. It's a type of explosive. Like, you meet me, I leave a protruding impact. You don't forget it. It's memorable. It's explosive. It's dynamite. That's me in a nutshell. So M80. Been M80 ever since 1997, 98. And for people ask, a lot of people call me Almighty, but Almighty is my group. The Wu-Tang, I'm like in the Wu-Tang family tree, I am a member of Almighty. So hence Almighty M80.
Why Sir Slicks? Why
No
that
one
name?
knows. No one knows. I think I was just on my pimp shit. I was the
Gotcha.
original Larry June with it. I was very pimp C-ish. Um, yeah, Sir Slicksack, dude. Like you needed dope in high school. You could page Mr. 777 and see in 30 minutes or less like a hot pizza.
So why so I'm sorry, let's take it back to the battle stuff, right? Because I know that you had like what, like 2,000 kids in your school and like 300 of them rapped, and you beat them all.
It wasn't just my school though. On the weekends, we go to parties, and all the rappers from the other schools would come to where I was at. So I took out everyone. I went to Lawrence Central High School. I took out everyone in Lawrence North, Cathedral, Hamilton Southeastern, Park Tudor, Ben Davis. There, I mean, I was awesome. And this is legit a cappella. I'm sorry, not acapella. This is, like rapping over beats, or if you're battling in the commons, it's the acapella, just freestyle battles, legit freestyle. There was dudes that I definitely admired growing up in Indianapolis, like Rusty Redenbacher from the Mud Kids and Original and, people like that. But like, you know, I was with it. It was like the greatest thing to me because they used to hold these weekly battles every Wednesday at this place called like Club, the Club, I think is what it was called. But like, that's me meeting people just outside of like school and rapping, seeing that like the culture is expanding. So when I started doing live concerts in Indy, I was one of like the top 5 rappers. So anytime a big name artist came through, like KRS-One or Kanye West or Twista or members of Wu-Tang Clan or Digable Plan, whoever it was, at least one or two of those top 5 would be on the shows. I received way more opportunities than the others because when I would do an M80 show as a headliner, they would sell out. I'd sell out 500 cap rooms, 750 cap rooms, 1,000 cap rooms. And it was crucial that I stayed in school because I got to promote myself and advertise and market myself to college campuses. You got 30,000 people at this school, you got 25,000 just down the street at this school. So, of course, my shit's going to sell out. A lot of these clubs were 18 plus. Like, what else are these kids doing on the weekend? Let's go see this fucking dude rap that we see every day in English class or history or whatever. And I never left school from high school to college. I never left campus without making at least $100 a day. I was everyone's richest friend even back then. Um, and I sold probably 30,000 some CDs, dude. Like from from the time of M80, the Expert Explosive, to Snakes in the Garden of 80, to the 11th Hour, to Hidden Psalms and Street Songs, to Taking Back Was Mine. And that's when I started touring with Wu-Tang. And this was the major transition for me because I never sold Wu-Tang. I never sold Canibus. I never sold Keith Murray, any of these people that I worked with, dating back to the inception of me as the A&R. On, hey, I'm a rapper and you're a rapper, let's work. I sold them on the fact I was going to law school, that I was studying intellectual property, civil litigation, advanced contracts, and I'm a fan of their music and can help them further their careers and make more money. So, of course, everyone get that guy's number. Stay in touch with that guy. They have to hear the rap shit every day about, oh, I rap, you rap, like, let's build. Like, no one wants that shit. Unless you're putting money in someone else's hand, no one cares. You rap too, great. That me, you, and 8 million others. But me, I approached it like as the anomaly. I know your shit front and back. You can win with me. And 200 plus clients later, that's what happened.
So did I hear correctly that you battled Rhyme Fest and won?
Dustin.
Really? It was that bad?
Dustin. Yeah. And he said, oh, well, the crowd knows you. They like you better. I'm like, no, I just beat you. Like his manager at the time, rest in peace to my friend and mentor, Indiana Jones, was like, he told me like the next day, as soon as festival off, he just wanted to get the fuck out of there. But Jones wanted to stay because it didn't support me. But he's like, come on, man, get the fuck out of here. Fuck him, man.
Can you describe the story like leading up to it? Was it just like a concert or was it full on like just battle?
It was how they structured all the battles. Like, everyone goes and there's people watching the battle and there's artists that are signing up for the battle. So it's like a March Madness thing. You got your like round of 32, your round of 16. And I don't remember if I think I actually won the whole shit that time. The prize money was like $500, but I could count the amount of battle embassies in the Midwest that beat me in my whole career on one hand. I remember anytime I would be at the club battling and would have to go up against this guy named Mike Ali, which is real name is Blake Ali, I lost every time. Like I could not figure out how to beat this guy. There was this chick that used to battle named Nonsense, and no one could beat her because they'd all say the same shit, like you're a dyke, you're fat, you're blah blah blah. But she was a fucking dope ass MC, would eat people alive. But Ryan Fest just he wasn't on his A game that day. I mean, I remember walking in same time he was walking in. We were friends. We did a song together on my 2003 album called Victory. But come battle time, like you're not my friend, I'm not your friend, like fucking warfare.
Wow.
You know what's funny? I'm the one that orchestrated the battle between Disaster and Canibus when I was managing Canibus. And then I ended up managing Disaster for a very short period of time. But I determined he was unmanageable. Like I referred to TV show. He was going to star in a TV show that was like a rap version of Punk'd, and he didn't take it. And there was like commercials I had him audition for, and we wanted to make an actual Disaster album, and he was scared to do it because all he knew was battling. But we auditioned for a commercial one time, and it was like wrappers and supplemental products for like health shit, and I had to battle Disaster in the audition for the commercial. And I'm like, I beat you, right? He's like, man, I wasn't trying. I'm like, but I still beat you. So that was pretty cool. Canopy's got some get back on that day.
So you went to law school, you graduated top 10 in your class, right? But you didn't take the bar?
I did not. And that's the one thing I regret. I wish I would have, because I have a whole fucking string of attorneys that work for me. From civil to criminal to intellectual property to all the shit. If I would have taken the bar, at least I could have legally do a lot of the memorandums that are in court myself and not to spend the money. Like I still spend, Jesus Christ, I spent almost $250,000 last year in my legal fees for various shit. On average, I'm spending like 50, 60,000 a year, but imagine being able to save that money. Like anytime I have a question that I need like the proper legal authority for, 99% of the time I ask them and my answer is already right. I know the answer, but I need that affirmation. Every time it's $2,000 plus. So that was the whole rationale behind me starting the A&R clinics I do every Tuesday. Artists can tune in, people that want to break in the industry, whatever walk of life you are, and I will answer all your questions for free because not everyone has the assets and resources to just fucking spend bands every time you have a fucking legal question regarding music. And people that you start off making music because you fall in love with music. It's a hobby. But eventually, the people that strive the greatest and make those strides are people that treat it as a real career path in their life. Um, so I'm speaking the people that tune in to hear me speak every Tuesday, I feel are the ones that are most serious about their career. There's people that have tuned in for 5, 6 years straight that have never asked a single question. They just want to soak up as much game as possible. And there's others that just run the whole session and will ask me a million questions because they don't necessarily either want to pay for one of my paid consultations, kind of like a one-on-one version of the clinic, specifically drawn to crafting programs for you to succeed. But it's like they just want to know how do I navigate this? And that's, it's even I don't know it all. So sometimes the students can teach me things, and the majority of the times I'm teaching them. But that's the whole benefit of having this game and having lived the ins and the outs, the good, the bad, the ugly.
So is it not possible for you to now take the bar and become a lawyer?
I'm so far removed. So that's to answer your question. I graduated from law school, and then I got my first tour management opportunity to manage Canibus on a like 2.5 month tour across all of America. So I'm like, fuck yeah, I'll do that shit. The money was absolute shit, but I'm like, I get to see all of America? Bet. I literally almost quit after the first night. I didn't know Canibus that well. We'd worked together on some songs here and there. But like being around this guy, this fucking, he's like, we're going to have these walkie talkies. And I'm like, I'm not taking a fucking walkie talkie. When you need something, just ask me. Like, fucking over. All right. None of that shit. So I literally almost quit after the first show because he was fucking yelling at me about, I wanted to leave 10 minutes ago and you were talking to some broad. I'm like, yeah, bro, that's what we do. Rap, get money, pussy, repeat.
So that was like your introduction to the music industry as far as
No, that was my introduction to being on tours.
on tours.
Yeah. So
Okay.
like I had been on M80 tours where I'm the shit, I'm the artist.
Mhm.
This is the first time I'm managing an already famous person's tour.
Got you. Okay.
So like the funny thing is I've been on tours as an artist. Like I went on a tour with PANDA one time and I was managing the tour, but I was also the support act. And me and PANDA still joke about this today. He's like, how the fuck did you get more pussy on my tour than me? I'm like, because I'm me.
All right.
Like good times. But I didn't take the bar that year because I managed that tour. And the bar is only held on like certain days, and you're supposed to prep for it for at least like 6 months beforehand. So people will literally take out student loans just for bar prep, so they're not working. Like in law school, at least for the first year, 2 years, they say if you have time to do anything but go to school and study, you're going to fail. It's that heavily involved. I figured out a way where I was brand new to San Francisco and I was still M80. Like I thought I was going to retire, and then I got way more artist opportunities after I went to law school or while I was in law school. So I figured out like I was going to take all the practice tests from all like 10 years prior. And eventually some of the same shit's going to repeat itself as professors are writing new exams. So I would have students meet me every weekend in the library and we'd do these practice tests together. So I remember I was out with RZA till 4:30 in the morning, 5 in the morning, the day 8 diagrams came out. And then I had my corporations exam at like 9 a.m. and got a B plus on it. Because I just I figured out how to study for the exams. I didn't necessarily have to be there every day in class. But my whole college career, my whole law school career, high school career, I missed like one day of school. I was always like, whether sick or not, I was there. I love school.
And the whole point of you going to law school is because you were trying to learn about like intellectual property and all those different things.
To master the business of music, not necessarily become an attorney. Like I didn't want to abandon music. So that's the regret. Had I at least taken the bar, then I could just have a fallback as an attorney. My fallback is I could be a paralegal. Like you have a law degree, you're automatically qualified to be a paralegal. But it's like I'm qualified through my 20 plus years of business experience to literally be any fucking thing I want. Right. Outside of music, inside of music, whatever. Like, does this guy know how to make money? I think that's what companies care about. Is he good? Is he interpersonal? Is he an extrovert? That kind of shit matters in the real business world. I feel bad for the introverts of the world.
So from 2009 to 2011, you held the Guinness Book of World Records for the longest freestyle.
2000 December 2009 to December
Right,
2011. Yeah.
which was 9 hours, 15 minutes, and 15 seconds. I saw a
Yeah.
small clip of you rhyming, but this was straight nonstop, like no water, no bathroom breaks.
No. So you get in the rule packet is this thick. If you can see me at home, there's so many fucking rules. You get a 5-minute break for every 60. Now you can take the break at the 60 mark, or you can bank the breaks. So I physically witnessed MC Supernatural break the record on the Rock the Bells tour with Wu-Tang Clan and Rage Against the Machine. I was there. It was in San Bernardino, I think. He rapped for 4 hours straight and then took a 20-minute break. I swam like 5 times a week. I was a swimmer in high school, varsity. I like did cardio and all that shit. And I would go to DJ Rusty Redenbacher's fucking house and just rap for like an hour, 2 hours at a time. And he'd record the beats. And I would take the beat CDs with me and then rhyme when I was driving all over the place. But I trained to take the break at the 60 mark every time. So I could literally, I had 9 different water bottles on stage, and each one's different. You got water with like certain fucking ginger in it, and you got water with like cough drops in it, and I got little like sandwiches and health bars and stuff. And the bathroom is literally like a hop, skip, and a jump from the stage. So yeah. But the funny thing is I almost lost in the first 20 minutes. Like I had one of the water bottles that was like the squeeze one. Pause. And I shoot the water in my mouth, pause, and like start choking on it, pause. Fucking, I did something like coughing from my coffin. I ain't dead yet. MAD always been a triple threat, like whatever the fuck it was. And the crowd was like, oh, they're going fucking crazy. It was good. So that's how I took the 5-minute break at the end of each hour.
So after you finish breaking the record and everything, your thought was that you're going to go out and party and everything to celebrate, but
all I wanted to do was get a burrito.
But in your mind,
like,
right? Didn't you say like in your mind
you
thought it was going to be like a big celebration, but you really just went and got a burrito after that?
I went home and went to bed. It was snowing. I tell you why, it was snowing out and the roads were mad icy, and people in Indy, like in the Midwest, are shit drivers. I mean, they suck in LA too. But I didn't want to break the record in my mind, like see in the newspaper the next day, like man breaks Guinness World Record and dies in car crash. I played it smart. I had the burrito. I went home, celebrated with some friends just at the dinner. Boom. And then in the next week to come, all the radio stations started covering it. Fox News, CNN, all the hip hop blogs. Even, listen, that's the only thing I've done in my entire life where even the people who hate my fucking guts reached out to me like respect. Because it's not that they didn't respect it because I broke a Guinness World Record. Like, yeah, you can rap for a long time. Congrats, bro. They respected it because it was for charity. We funded, all the proceeds went to fund a secondary school in the Bodo River States of Nigeria called the Babe War Project. So I helped fund a school in Nigeria. Like, I have a school. That's what pissed me off about the guy who broke my record. Chitty from the group Chitty Bang. He's Nigerian. My school is in Nigeria. This motherfucker did 1,000,001 interviews and never once like, thank you, M80, for doing something for my country when I've done nothing for my country. I met him. I produced a concert, and I used to produce 90% of the rap shows that came through Indy from like 2008 to 2017 were Holy Twitter Production branded with Live Nation and just Holy Twitter Productions. Chitty was the opening act on a tour, I believe, with like Wiz Khalifa and A$AP Rocky and Mac Miller. And I met him. It's my show. And I told him who I was and the whole nine. We took a picture and whoop-de-fucking-do. But it's like, he didn't strike me as someone who gave a fuck. It's like, how do you not care about where you come from? I love Toledo, Ohio, for better or worse. Like, for many years, my goal was to like move back to Toledo and become the mayor of Toledo.
Wow.
I don't have that dream anymore, but I did meet the mayor of Toledo, Ohio. He came to meet Snoop, and his wife was so funny. Like, we didn't go like have dinner with Donald Trump because Snoop was coming to town. I'm like, you made the smart decision. Like, Snoop's fucking awesome. And I got to talk to the mayor, and I told him ever since I was a kid I wanted to be the mayor of Toledo. And he's like, you seem like you're more than qualified. Like, I'd vote for you just because you're friends with Snoop. So, yeah.
That's crazy, man. And so he broke the record, but he didn't do anything because you were really freestyling.
I'm the only person to date. I mean, the record's changed hands like 100 times. The new record is like 50 plus hours because they changed the rules. When I did it, it was called like freestyle longevity rap, which means you're literally making the shit up. It's a freestyle. Now it's called endurance rap. And endurance means you can just rap. So like Murs did 24 hours, which by the way was some bullshit because that was Supernat's idea. And if you go back and see, like Supernat really had issue. He told Murs, that's why they say you're not supposed to tell people what you're going to do before you actually do it. Like not everyone that listens is listening with a fucking like ear of confidence. There, some snake motherfuckers exist. It's just it is what it is. Murs literally took his idea and did it. When I was going to do the Guinness Book of World Records shit for longest freestyle, I went to Supernat and asked for his blessing. He's like, hey, you have my blessing. Like he was flattered I asked, but I think at the same time laughed, thinking like, there's no way you're gonna break my record. And I'm like, you don't know me like that. We're both from Indiana, so that was funny. But Murs, when it changed from freestyle to endurance rap, literally rapped like Snoop Dogg songs for an hour. I didn't have that. I didn't even rap an M80 song in my 9 hour plus freestyle. It's all legit freestyle. So it's crazy. So yeah, I could probably sit there and rap you every single one of my favorite songs for at least 10 hours of whatever. I mean, I like that many songs. So.
Right. So you spoke about you doing the tour with Canibus, right? But how did you initially meet Canibus?
I'm hilarious. I lived in I lived in San Francisco when I was in law school. GZA had a show at the House of Blues in LA with Priest, and Priest invited me. I think they both invited me. And I was like, yeah, fuck it. So me and this girl I knew in San Fran, we drove down. And Priest, after the show, we're all in the foundation room. And Priest is like, you know who that is? I'm like, no, who's that? He's like, that's Canibus. And I'm like, and I started laughing. And Priest like, Priest started laughing too, just because I was laughing. And I'm like, why are you laughing? And Priest points down, he's like, look at his shoes. So Canibus is where, like, it's typical LA shit. Like, he was dressed like for a night on the town. He was still feeling himself at that point. He had on the wingtips and shit with some jeans and a fucking button-up shirt. You don't see Canibus dressed like that anymore. So I'm cracking up too, just because I'm like, this is Canibus? Like, really? And I go over and tell him, Priest, like, M80 and I work together. And instantly, me and Canibus swap numbers because I'm telling him about what I do for Priest and what I do in general. And he tapped me at first for just feature brokerages, like helping him off some verses and whatnot. Priest, well, okay, listen, my whole career has been this. Either you're not a hater and you're secure with your own career and you want to see me win. So you're going to put me in positions to continue to win. Or you're not secure. I've had a lot of fucked up life experiences. Look how many people in my lifetime have passed away. Like I'm not 100% stable, right? I maintain a good exterior. Canibus stole Priest's manager back in the day, Louis Lombard. So when me and Canibus started working together, Priest definitely felt some kind of way about it, as if history was repeating itself. But ultimately, I wrote about this in my book, in the 30 pages of rhymes book, the Canibus Disaster Battle book, which also touches more than just the battle. It touches on my whole career working with Canibus. Like I had to really sell Priest on, like, this is not going to have any effect on what we do. And me and Priest had a falling out. We didn't talk for 5 years. We just talked for the first time like a couple months ago. And it had nothing to do with Canibus, but like I had to assure him that, let me blossom. Like I came to the Wu-Tang family, but I built a career for myself that is far greater than just Wu-Tang. But I'm never going to turn my back on anything Wu-Tang or any people Wu-Tang. Like that's still family to me. I think a lot of the people that aren't in the Wu-Tang clan, that are Wu-Tang fam or Killah Bees, what do you want to call them, never approached it with that kind of a forethought is the actual word, a forethought. To say, let me do what I do and expand into something greater or bigger than just one entity. So a lot of people are like, M80's a click hopper. Like, bro, you don't understand. I'm not a fucking rapper anymore. I'm not just M80 the rapper. Yeah, I can still rap and still fucking run circles around you, no problem. Test me. But I built a company. I run the world's first ever A&R firm. That's what people keep confusing. They come to me like, you want to sign me? I'm like, I don't sign artists. Artists sign me. I'm the fucking pot of gold in the artist equation. I'm the guy with fucking 8 figures of experience. I'm the guy with the 6 to 7 figure education. I'm the guy with the resource and the connections. What are you talking about? Me sign you? The fuck? Come on. I could sign myself and be better off than you. So what it is I built this A&R firm and I help artists construct their albums and I do their legal admin, which every artist fucking fucks up. Everyone. And they don't do anything about it until it's too late. And that's literally why people like me exist, to get it right from the onset so you don't fuck it off in the future. If it wasn't for I'll tell you what, the best part about me going to law school is it helped me master my licensing business. My licensing business is 7 figures. My licensing business pulls in 200 plus, 200 to 500 a year. And I could only do that if I would have gone to law school. Otherwise, it would not have existed how it would exist. But it was a hard sell for many artists to understand that I was going to work with people outside of Wu-Tang. It has nothing to do with being a click hopper. I offer services that the world needs. If you're smart, you're going to fuck with me. And then letting people know that, no, just because I have multiple artists and render different, like my company offers 12 different services. There's artists like Dog, Snoop, that hey, I want you to help me broker features and you can help refer like concerts and DJ gigs, whatever. But I don't work Snoop Dogg album. Then you have artists like Crooked Eye, Corrupt, and Huss, and Planet Asia. Do everything. Help me with my album. Help me with the legal. Help me with the label and distribution shopping, PR coordination, radio coordination, licensing, syncing, the whole nine. I do it all. So that's what it is. I had to really like sell these artists for a long time. Like as I expand my company, doing something in furtherance of me, it will not affect my time, availability, and money making opportunities for you.
I've seen in the past that you said that the situation with Killah Priest, it really like hurt you because you guys had known each other for so long. Your families like knew each other and everything. And he had did something that you felt was like unforgivable. So it's kind of surprising now that like after 5 years of not talking that you guys have finally been able to resolve things.
The reason I'm able just to like, we'll be friendly again. Like we haven't hung out since we made good a couple months ago. And what Priest did, for those at home that might not be in the know, I worked the whole Killah Priest album, and during COVID, I was literally Priest's like main line of revenue. We did these 2 albums on like special edition release, like remastered, limited edition physicals, autographed. And then I was the associate producer. I was far more than just A&R. I had the associate producer credit on the album Rocket to Nebula. For those of you at home who may remember, we did the album release party during COVID in my backyard at my house. Okay? And I helped Priest get on the Bandcamp and Huss Kingpin set up his whole web infrastructure. And I got, like, this is the first time in Priest's whole career he had pre-orders. Like, so Priest performing for 30 minutes in my backyard left that night making like $6,000. We made the live stream for free so people would specifically spend money on the merchandising, on the physical goods. I'm on all these group text messages about the album, the web infrastructure, the credits. I approved the artwork. My name's in it. I saw it. I approved it. Then when the CD comes out, my name's not in there. And Priest is like, oh, well, it was like a spacing issue. And we had to take your name out. I'm like, and Priest is hilarious because that makes no sense at all. Like, push the credits up if it's a spacing issue, dumbass. Then he's like, you're in the vinyl. So the vinyl comes out. Priest posts a picture on his Instagram. I'm like, send me a picture of the credits. And Priest is like, I'm celebrating right now. Like, I'll get to it. Like 5-6 days go by, he doesn't send it. So I go on this website that lists the credits. My name's not in there. And I was like, fuck you, dude. You wrote me asking me what credit I wanted for all my work, then took my name out. And his rationale was, I didn't like how you talked to me this one day in the group text. I was like, that is insane. That's how you like. See, that's the problem. I like to talk to people on the phone. I'm old school. I don't like doing this whole texting back and forth unless you absolutely have to and someone can't speak. But the problem with texting is people read the messages how they want to read it, not necessarily how you are saying it. So the specific message Priest took issue with is he wanted to talk about how much we were going to sell all the items for. I write back, that is irrelevant. We are building the infrastructure. That's the last part. How much do you want to sell a CD for or a shirt? Who gives a fuck? Sell for whatever you want. He was like, he was disrespecting me. Like, no, dude, I'm just focusing my eyes on the prize. All right. So they took my name out of the credits. I literally made the whole fucking album. Like I said, release party in my backyard. I paid for the sound system, the DJ, the whole nine. So that was unforgivable to me because it had nothing to do with money. You took a credit away from me. Now, as I've explained in many interviews, and you say you're familiar with my interviews, each credit from a big name artist gets me to my next check. So when you see, like, for instance, I'm the A&R of the new Wu-Tang Clan album dropping April 12th. Do you know how many Wu-Tang fans that make music are going to come to me to get Wu-Tang features, to help them do legal on their albums or shop PR? Like, who did Wu-Tang Clan use? We want to use them. Who did they do for radio? They're all going to come to me. And that, to me, is worth six figures. I'd calculate it in my head, and with 20 years of experience, know that's realistic. So I didn't charge Priest to work because I knew that, say, a Killah Priest album, the credit's worth like $5,000 to me, maybe 10 plus with ancillary checks. So you took opportunity away from me. You took my name out of the credit, so people don't know. Even if I tell them I did the work, you still want to see I did the work. You can buy a Rakim vinyl, you can buy a Rakim CD, whatever. Read a Rakim interview and see me credited everywhere as the executive producer. Rakim will tell you I couldn't have made this without M80. When I did the Rakim album, I told the world, just having the executive producer credit on a Rakim album is worth somewhere between $100,000 and $200,000 of ancillary work. The next job I got after Rakim, $100,000. One job. Like 5 days of work. Okay? So that's the point. That's why I was upset with Priest. You took my credit away from me for work I did for free because you were upset about how you thought I was talking to you. So I was very adamant in later interviews and my social media shit. You took 5 to 10 G's away from me. I'm taking 50 from you. So the next 50 G's of work that came in for Priest, that was me. And he knew damn well. And when I licensed my verse catalog to the blockchain for $3 million. And there's like 17 Killah Priest verses on my fucking catalog. Priest's like, how much money is mine? I'm like, 0. But if you were still my best friend, I would have given you 50 grand just because you helped me get to this point in my life. Because not, 0.
The credit is kind of like a cosign. You know how like a lot of times people will rock with you because of that.
It's official. It's the stamp. You did this.
And for him to know you for that many years, it warranted more of a phone call like, yo, bro, like, I didn't like the way that you were talking to me like that, instead of jumping and going to do that, especially with all that you helped do for him, I'm sure, over the years for his projects and that specific project.
Everything you're saying is spot on, all right? I was at a concert recently, and I walked into the dressing room with one of my favorite artists of all time, someone I consider just a fucking living legend. And for whatever reason, he just got insanely disrespectful towards me. And rather than fucking get in some argument, I was like, all right, I'm out of here. I left. And it ate at me all night. Like,
you can't say who?
Nah, it's not important.
Okay, got you.
I called him the next morning, though, as soon as I woke up. And I never called this person. We texted and shit like that. Email. He said, thank you for calling. I got a fucking earful from everyone in the room that I was being an asshole to you when you walked in the room. And, like, you took the fucking high road and just walked out. I am so sorry. Like, do you want to get breakfast? No, let's just talk, man. We're not at the same hotel. Then we ended up seeing each other at the airport and got to sit down and talk for like an hour and change. And it's like, whether you were drunk or whether like you were just making a joke, like if I care about you, I care with 100% of my being. Otherwise, you're dead to me. That's how I am, So like, I literally did not talk to Killah Priest for 5 years. This is my best friend. And there were some pros and cons to this shit. Like we did the Horseman album after that and didn't have to talk to Priest.
Wow.
The conference calls would be me, Corrupt's manager, and Razkaz. And then after the hour-long calls, Razkaz would then have to go. He was so mad. He's like, I got to be on this shit twice. Then call Priest. When the money came in, I would hand Priest money to Raz to hand to Priest. Like, I'm not putting another fucking dollar in your pocket. Now that we made up, Priest knows I made my money back off him and then some. And Priest felt bad about getting over on me when I fucking did the work. But that's a big thing with Wu-Tang. I'm the white guy. But you know what? They've always had a quote unquote white guy or a Jewish guy. Their whole career launch was with Steve Rifkin. He is me, but bigger. Okay? Because, listen, I'm just as fucking dope as all these executives from the 90s, but they are the originators. They're the names that are going to live on forever, well past the name M80. But please don't discredit the fact that I'm 300 some albums fucking deep, 25 gold and platinums, 50 plus Billboard Top 100s. Motherfuckers aren't putting numbers on the board like that anymore. All right. I'm really in the shit and care about the craft and the culture and the artist. So, that being said, I want to make a Priest album now. And I already picked all the beats. It's crazy. It is the album Priest deserves. And I'm trying to sell these Canibus masters right now because I want to pay everyone accordingly. And since me and Canibus fell out, I want to take the albums of Canibus I own and use it to fund the Priest shit. But even if we don't ever work together again, at least it's cool to know that I can be in the same room with him and we're not going to fucking beat each other's asses because we've fought before. I've gotten fights with lots of motherfuckers, rappers, non-rappers.
Did you win?
And me and Priest first fight, yeah, by technicality, but I won. You want that story?
Yeah, I want that story.
I'm making Almighty, the first one, 2008. I live in Indiana. Priest lives in Manhattan Beach, California. So Los Angeles, Manhattan Beach. Every time I'm brokering features for Priest, I would fly to LA, get him to do the paid work, and then have him do a song or two for Almighty. So Priest, I think, on the first Almighty's on like 8 or 9 songs. He's the Priest is the star of Almighty. And then it's C. Ray's Walls and Bronze Nazareth and me and Sun One and 5 Star. My last trip to LA, I need Priest to do 3 songs. And I made him like $5,000 in features outside of those songs. And I'm here for 7 days. Okay, so keep that in mind. 3 songs, 7 days. We're in the studio every day. Day 1 knocks out 1 song. Sweet. 2 more to go, 6 days. Day 2 knocks out the second one. All right, 5 days, 1 more song. The next 2-3 days go by. He flies this group in from like Arizona called the Vendetta Kings. And he's like, I want to sign them. I want them to be the first rappers on Proverbs Records. And I'm like, all right, like, cool. I'm here to get Almighty done. Like, I got a fucking agenda. I don't care about these fucking dudes. We picked them up from the airport, and these are 2 white guys. And white people in hip hop always feel another way about other white people. It's this weird fucking stigma I never understood. But these were different white dudes. They get in the car, N-bomb this, N-bomb that. I'm like, I just can't stand white people who use the N-word. I don't give a fuck like that Jin Lee guy. I don't give a fuck if you're from the hood. I don't give a fuck if you grew up with all black people. Like, shut the fuck up. Stop dropping N-bombs. Who do you think you're impressing? This is Killah Priest you're talking to. A fucking, educator, a philosophizer, a poet.
So you yourself never used the word really?
No.
It was never your thing?
No. I've never been that kind of white guy. All my artists say that shit to me. They call me the N-word, but it's like, I don't say it back to them.
Got you.
All right? So, one of Priest's sons, Rudy, was with us, and Rudy was telling his dad, I feel really uncomfortable. So that's when Priest was like, all right, cut the shit with the N-word. And they didn't say it for the rest of the trip. But every day we'd go to the studio since they got there. When I needed Priest to do that last verse, they're like, yo, Priest, listen to this beat. I'm paying for the fucking studio time. I have no idea why these guys are even here. And they're like swaying Priest to like record for them and do shit for them. They don't realize that Priest wants to sign them. And Priest didn't sign them because they were fucking like essentially acting an ass. They were overplaying their hand. Be grateful, just be in the moment and be happy you're there type shit. We have an actual job to do for money. So now we missed 3 days of studio time. We go to the studio one day. Me, Priest, Tiffany, rest in peace, Vendetta Kings, and AD. AD is the engineer. It's his studio. I'm playing the last song. I don't remember what song it is. I think it's I think it was Killah B Swarm. And I'm like, I need you to write this verse. And the Vendetta Kings pulled the same shit, put on one of their fucking songs. I'm like, fuck your fucking song. So they're looking at me crazy because now I'm just talking on my ass. Priest is like, if you ask me to do this song one more fucking time, he's like, I'll do it. Stop asking me. I get right up in Priest's face. I'm like, write the fucking song now. He gets up from his chair. He's so big, furniture isn't moving in the studio. He starts swinging at me violently, like not playfully, violently. I'm dodging these fucking punches like the Matrix. I impressed myself that day. Not even gonna lie. We get up against the wall and we lock hands. So he can't punch me. I can't punch him. The worst thing he could do is fucking headbutt me and kill me or knee me in the nuts. I took with my right hand, I did this, and I broke Priest's pinky. It was like literally like flailing off his hand. So fucking, he gets Tiffany and he's like, let's get out of here. And they leave. I lived in Indiana. I'm just stuck in Orange, California. This is pre-Uber, pre-Lyft. So I call some guy and he comes and picks me up. And thank God, because I had like $20 on me. And I called a taxi company. They wanted like $140. So he takes me to Priest's house, and the door was unlocked. I just walked in and laid down in the guest bedroom. Priest walks in the guest bedroom. Like, what the fuck are you doing here? I'm like, leave me alone. Talk to me when I get up. And so then, Tiffany, they went out to breakfast while I was sleeping. Like, do you realize that M80 is like 24 years old? I don't remember how old I was. I mean, Priest is like, all the people I work with are older than me, with the exception of like Huss. And Priest's like, yeah, I always forget that. Plus, he's like, I'm 10 times M80 size. That was wrong of me. And Tiffany's like, it was wrong of you. Like, he's here making you money. And instead of doing what he's paying you to do, you're fucking off with these white dudes dropping M-bombs. So that was that. And that's why I've never been a fan of the Vendetta Kings. And I think the head guy, the Maze overlay dude, tried to reach out to me a few times for work. So I'm just not interested. Like, once I don't like you, I just don't like you.
Right.
I'm 40 fucking 3 years old. What are we going to be, friends? You want to go hang out? You want to go have a picnic together? What do you want to do? Pay me to do my job or shut the fuck up.
So then you fought him after that and you lost those times?
No, I've never lost. We fought that one time and I won. I'm saying I've fought many rappers.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah, and it's in the book. I've been in many life or death situations.
Did this affect your relationship with the rest of the Wu?
Not at all. They don't give a fuck.
Okay.
If you're not, listen, this is not the 90s anymore. If you're not a member of the Wu-Tang Clan, if you're one of these outskirt motherfuckers, you're an afterthought.
Got you.
We're in the year 2025, and people are like, I'm a Wu-Tang affiliate. I'm waiting on the RZA to pass the torch. Like, bro, you gave up your whole life, like chasing something that was never there to begin with.
All right, so we kind of got sidetracked, but I want to circle back to Canibus, right? Canibus kind of has this reputation for being weird. When you first met him,
Sure.
what was your impression of him outside of his clothing?
I was like, this is fucking Canibus. This is in the late 90s. When I met him, it was like I said, like 2006, 2007. Like, I still remember Canibus hyped up to be the next fucking greatest thing in hip hop.
Right.
I was like, Canibus and Priest are responsible for molding my career. Wu-Tang indie culture was so successful, everyone wanted to work with the A&R that helped make that record.
So then the relationship started to build over the years because what year did you meet him?
Wait, you want to hear the funniest story ever? I met him in 2007. Canibus and Razcast went on a double date one time. All right? A double date with two chicks, obviously. And Razcast had set it up. So Raz already knew the girl he was going out with, but Canibus didn't know the other girl. It was like a blind date. At the end of the date, the girl asked Canibus for his phone number. Canibus gets a napkin and a pen and writes his number out. But not how any normal motherfucker in the world would write their phone number. He's like 2, TWO, 3, THREE, 5, FIBE. And I'm like, that's the funniest thing I've ever heard in my life. And gave it to the girl. And of course, the girl never called because she's like, what the fuck is this?
Wow.
The funniest thing ever.
Okay, so then the whole situation between Disaster and Canibus, right?
Mm.
You're the one that was responsible for putting that together.
Yes, and it's all because I slept on a couch one night after a party instead of driving back to my hotel room. Had it not been for me liking to drink and party and whatnot, that battle would have never happened. I passed out at Dr. Zodiac's house in Montebello, which is funny. That's where I just got the Rolls Royce. Um, there was a Wu-Tang Clan concert in Anaheim, and we had an after party at his house. I woke up the next morning to get in the shower and go back to the hotel. And he lived with this guy named Christian 818. And Christian's like, aren't you like the guy who works for Canibus? And he's like, dude, I do this battle shit with Lush One. Lush also hated me for a long time before he realized that I'm the fucking shit. All these other white dudes, I'm their fucking god. Because I've actually worked. My resume can't be fucking paralleled by any of them. So, like, they all hate me to begin with. Then when they realize, like, MA's a cool guy, like, whatever. Let's be friends. Okay, buddy. You should talk to me for a decade, but sure, you can be my friend. We're never going to hang out. He's like, my partner, Lush One, and I have this battle company. It was called, like, Fresh Coast. We're going to work with King of the Dot. We've always wanted Canibus to battle. And they never mentioned Disaster at this point in time. And I said, we get offers for Canibus to battle monthly. No one's ever talking about the right money. They're like, how much money? I'm like, I don't know, like maybe $100 grand. They're like, that's crazy. I'm like, I don't know, dude. I just know that the offers we got aren't it. So come up with an offer and send it through. And again, this is all in the book, but we agreed to like 50 G's and X amount of fucking points and yada, 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 yada. And they're supposed to pay a signing, like we sign, they pay X amount of money, then they pay each month leading up to the battle. So when we go to the battle, we're only supposed to be owed like, 5 or 10 grand. They default after the first payment. And it's like, okay, like, thank you for your 10 grand or 12 grand or whatever you sent us. Like, this is a dead issue now. Then that's when we learned that it's a battle against Disaster. They dropped some promo video. And Disaster's like, it's my money and I borrowed it from these fucking drug dealers and they're going to kill me and yada, yada. He like appealed to my sensibilities. Like, this guy I don't know telling me his life's in danger. Like, all right, cool. But, well, let's redo the contract. They're like, King of the Dot's not going to pay it now. It's us, which was also a lie. King of the Dot was paying the whole fucking time. So we agreed to like, I don't know, like 30 or 40 G's all in. So no back end points, no whatever. Now it's a 1-day event instead of 2. And Canibus was on tour in Canada, like a rap tour, and said weird shit was happening to him every night, like unexplainable weird shit. So he left the tour trying to cross the border back into America and got arrested for like a weapon or something, like a Swiss Army knife, something dumb. They put him in jail, and he got the shit kicked out of him in jail. All right. Hence the fucking like shit in his head and the splint on his arm. So people thought that was like a fucking ruse. No, that happened. Like, he needed it. When he got out of jail, and he was facing deportation. Remember, he's Jamaican. He's not American. But he had American citizenship because he was in the army. He's like, can I cancel the battle? I said, do you have the money? If you give them back the money, I assume it'd be no harm, no foul. He said, I spent every fucking dollar. I said, no, then you can't. Like, that's just shady as fuck. You take a job on, you don't want to do it, you pay the person back. I've signed record deals for artists with companies that ultimately change their mind. Like, hey, I think I want to hold out for a better situation. Okay, give them their money back. Cool, no harm, no foul. Move on to the next guy. Canibus already ran through the money. Why? Because he had these legal fees. His legal fees were fucking insane, probably like 50 to 100 G's. I've spent 60 grand alone on my Fat Beats lawsuit I'm going to court in May, trying to recover like 30 grand. But thank God, because of my contract, I get the legal fee money back too, but not a lot of people do. He does the battle, and I mean, Disaster is just fucking wiping the floor with him. No doubt about it. But in the contract, he had to do the 3 rounds to get the balance of money. So he knew he already lost. To make sure I don't violate the contract, let me just break out this fucking notepad. That's that. That's what that was. And then there's a whole chapter in the book about that. That's different from the actual book I wrote. But you know, like they took forever to get us that last $5,000 worth of money, and I never did business with the King of the Dot people again because they just associated me to cannabis, and you know that was that. There was never any business to be had anyway.
What was your reaction when he pulled out the notebook?
My phone was blowing up. The people from King of the Dot that were in Canada that could not get into America were blowing me up. Like, go to the office now. Like, they were furious. Otherwise, if you watch the battle on YouTube, you don't see me on the camera at all until he pulls the notepad out. Then it like zooms up, like all panoramic, and you see me standing behind Canibus like this, like I'm just as shocked as y'all motherfuckers. But we laughed about it afterwards. We went to fucking Mel's Diner with Supernat and da-da-da. You know, I could tell all Canvas's friends and whatever were embarrassed like a motherfucker. Like, I'm embarrassed too, dude. This is insane. Like, we all walked in there with you thinking you were going to mop this fucking guy. You're Cannabis. But all that fucking I'm the lyrical, miracle, jerical, venereal doesn't necessarily translate into the battle arena, bro. You can make good songs. Now, on the other side of the token, not a lot of battle rappers can make good songs. That's why I love Low Deluxe. I like his fucking music far more than just listening to a battle.
So
that was it. Like, Cannabis just thought it was a fucking joke. Like, he did what he did because he was fucking couldn't give the money back. He knew there was more money to pick up, and that's it. And like, Cannabis is an anomaly where like his loyal fans think he can do no wrong in the world. Like, he fucking lost the battle. He's stolen. He fucking represented. He was like making his final album and took $40,000 in pre-orders, and then never made the album. And the fans were like, oh, well, at least he's going to keep making more music. So I guess you really need our money. Like, yo, he just robbed you, you dumbasses. He took 4 record deals with advances from companies.
Right. And we're going to get into that part. We're going to get into that part. But I want
to. Cannabis is horrible. He's a piece of shit. But it's so unfortunate that he is a piece of shit because I always believed when I was working with Cannabis that I could make him as big, if not bigger, than what he was. But like it goes with my work, I can't be the only one fighting for you. You have to fight for you.
Right.
That's that. So he was unwilling to because he didn't want to be Cannabis, the next big thing again. He just wanted to fucking get by. And I'm not a get by guy. I'm a guy that buys Rolls Royces and fucking custom Rolexes and flexes my fucking awesomeness upon the world. So I want you to absorb some of my greatness so you can be greater than you've ever been.
Do you think that if he did not get arrested and beat up in prison or jail, that things would have been different?
Yes. Yes, because he was fucking prepping for that battle daily. He would call me and be like, listen to what I just wrote. It was mad shit that he didn't get to.
Wow.
Like, this motherfucker legit wrote 30 some fucking pages of rhymes for essentially like a 9-minute battle. You know what? Like, he was loving it, dude. And I tell you what, it wasn't just a jail thing. He fell out of love with it when they breached the contract the first time. It's like, fuck these fucking people. I mean, who the fuck do you have me dealing with that can't come up with 10 grand? Like, they were supposed to pay 10 grand a month. Like, I'm responsible for 7 figures of money every month. Could you imagine me saying, oh, sorry, man, I don't have your 10 grand. Come on.
How detrimental do you think that the loss was to his career?
There's like, that's the thing. None of his fans care. None of his fans even like it's blasphemous to speak about it. Some of his fans think he won. That's how delusional they are. It's like the asterisk. It's like Cannabis was the shit beforehand, and then gradually blah blah blah, and then he bounced him back to being the shit again, and then of course he did more. Cannabis has always been his own worst enemy. Like, there's no it's no like coincidence that like Eminem grew up admiring you and you fucked that off. And Wyclef took you on and you fucked that off. And I helped you make some of the best music of your life and you fucked that off. Like, it's not us, bro. It's you. You know, it's one of those things where people never realize they're the problem in the relationship or whatever it is, or the work or whatever. So, you know, whatever. I was able to help Canibus pay off all his debts, and I didn't even get a thank you. And now he's a free agent and can release music whenever he wants. And he hasn't released a fucking thing. It's like, what did I do all this work for?
So then after the situation, you start to manage disaster. What happened with that?
For like a month. Not immediately after. It was years later. like 3 or 4 years later.
What happened after with that situation?
I, as a manager, as an A&R, when you hire me, like you're paying me. So it's like, cool. But as a manager, you're only making money when they're making money. You get a percentage. So I take Disaster to this fucking television network that pitches this battle rap show idea. I think the average was like 60 grand an episode. Insane money. This motherfucker does not clear that in 4 or 5 battles. So he doesn't take the show. Then we take him to a record label to pitch the album idea. And he's like, look, I remember this. I'll never forget it. I get paid X amount per battle. This is all I know. This is all I love. I said, look, dude, you want to make this album? I will pay you as if it's a battle, and you give me the album. Because I knew the album would make at least 5 times the battle. Like, you know. So he didn't do the album deal. He didn't do the TV show deal. If there's no money for me to make, like, what the fuck am I doing here? I got 200 other people that want to make money and want my help to help them make money. Peace. We still hang out. We still talk. Like, we joke all the fucking time, you know. He's out making this like worldly battle documentary and shit. Crazy.
Did he say why he didn't want to take the show?
I'm proud of him. I'm really proud of him right now, actually.
Did he say why?
No. Oh, yeah. Like I just said, all he knows is battling. He didn't understand how being on a TV show would affect his battle life. How making a rap album would affect his battle career. And I'm like, you're looking at it from a super close-minded standpoint.
What happened exactly with the Canibus and Chino XL album?
Oh, Jesus Christ. I was able to negotiate an actual record deal. This was not me like, hey, guys, let's make this fucking album and go chase the bag. We got the record deal based on the idea of the project. So many fans for years, we want a Canibus Chino XL album. And I always listen to the fans. Like, you're the one buying the shit. So it's like, whatever, tell me what you want us to make. I'll go try to make it. Like the whole Canibus Pete Rock fiasco. The fans want that shit. I don't give a fuck about whether Canibus has Pete Rock beats. Like, fucking who cares? So we broker the record deal. Instead of just saying to the guys, like, if you sign an independent deal, you might get a little money advanced, but you get the majority of it when you turn in all the assets or what they call deliverables. The album masters, the separated stems, like your instrumentals, your cleans, your fucking explicits, your artwork. That's deliverables. I was able to get Chino, Canibus, and myself, and the producers, Bodybag Ben and Johnny Slash, 100% of their payments up front. Canibus has gone back to work as an HVAC technician at this point in his career and says, look, if you can get me all the money up front, I'm going to take 2 weeks off work. What was supposed to happen is Canibus takes 5 beats. Chino takes 5 beats. You do your references. You guys talk amongst yourselves every week. You swap. We picked out 4 names for features. Rakim. Lupe Fiasco, sorry. Tech 9 or Immortal Technique. That was the 3rd slot. And Fairlamonch. So there's 5 names for potentially 4.
Wow.
Chino knocks out his first 5, and then I tell Art, like, yo, Chino said, like, while Canibus is slacking, I'll go, like, negotiate some other deals for him so he can get some money. And he'll keep working, because Canibus did, like, a song. And Chino was, like, dead set, yo, if Canibus is going to fucking start acting funny, like, not call me to, like, work on these songs and blah, blah, I'm just going to start eating them alive. So Chino started turning in, like whole songs. Like, I remember this one song he turned in was like 2 minutes and change. I was like, all right, Biss, put your fucking verse on this shit. You know? And remember, Canibus always shines on these features where he's clearly rapping with people that aren't on his level. But Chino is on your level and is better than you. He hasn't sold as many records as you, but come on. Let's not bullshit one another. Chino XL is a better artist than Canibus. Always has been, always will be. I don't give a fuck. Canibus is like a fucking encyclopedia. Chino XL is living the rhymes. So Canibus literally 13 times I missed the deadline. I'm gonna do it and turn it in by this day, or I'm gonna do this, and it did nothing. And then the day after Chino XL died, long story short, calls the label and asks for all Chino references. He's like, I'll finish the album so we can still get it out. And that's fake to me. And there's no fake in me. You didn't finish the album when he was alive. I'm not letting you finish it to look good in the afterlife. And so rather than burdening Chino's family with having to pay back the label, and Chino's family owed Stu Banger's money because Stu had started working on God's Carpenter 2 with Chino. I hooked the label up with Stu Bangers to take the collective material from the two albums to make God's Carpenter 2, and that's what they're doing right now.
What is the current status of you and Canibus because of
him? Speak.
You don't speak? Because he had that one response to you that was really weird where he was saying that you got this dark aura. He tried to put bodies on you or something like that.
He's not lying. Nothing he said is a lie. I have a very dark aura. I'm a bad motherfucker. I'm not what people think I am. And I think people, when you hear me say that, they're like, this kind of makes sense because look at how successful M80 is. Yes, I work very fucking hard. That's a given. But is there anything about me other than I'm funny that strikes you as me being a pushover kind of person? Like, do I strike you as someone you're going to take advantage of? So nothing Canibus said in his fucking statement is necessarily a lie. He did fucking reach on a lot of shit. Like, he's like, they tried to invite me to his album release party for an album that's coming out now in 2025 that he said it like 3 years ago. But when I didn't come, they killed War Cloud instead. Like, War Cloud was killed in jail. And just dumb shit. Like, M80 killed Chino XL. Canibus was with me when I went and picked up $50,000 to pay for Chino's fucking surgery, the stem cells, so his heart would work again. But yeah, I killed him. Okay. Well, Chino's best friends haven't done a fucking thing for him.
And we're gonna get into that, but
so no, me and Canibus don't speak.
There's no way you guys could ever resolve it.
If Canibus gave me a bag of cash for all the help and aid I've rendered him in his career, like including working for free to pay off his debts, I'd be a friend again for a bag of cash.
Because you helped him out by putting out that second Best of Canibus that cleared all of the debts, right?
No, I did far more than that. To settle like his $30-some thousand in debt, that Canibus product made like $4,000. Yeah. Then we did a Beats and Features pack that had unreleased Canibus in it and beats and shit that made like $6,000. Then I sold the masters to the Self-Looking Ice Cream Cone album. I sold the masters to the Pete Rock EP. I sold Canibus verse licenses for $50 a piece. All that shit combined helped pay off his debt. He never owed me $1. That's what people don't understand. They're like, I made it always about his money. I'm about what's right. He owed good people money, and instead of just doing his job as a rapper and giving verses and albums for money, just took their money and gave nothing. I don't co-sign that. That's why all these 90s artists are all fucked up right now. They did so much dumb shit in their lifetimes they can't make up for it. There's not enough good karma in the world to help them with all the bad they did.
Got you. All right. Well, I want to get into Chino. You guys had such a close relationship. RIP to him, a true brotherhood. How did you first meet him?
That's a good question. I worked with Chino for years before we ever met. Like, I worked with Anno Domini. Okay, that's my guy. When Anno invented beat licensing and I invented verse licensing. That's how the verse licensing shit was born, through Anno. We had made hundreds of thousands of dollars together before we ever met in person. But I'm like, I need you to live in America. We could do even more if you lived here. And I had all these artists and labels sign off on like his work visa. He came here, met his now wife, has a family, and he's an American citizen now. Congrats. Chino and I worked together for at least 2-3 years, brokering features and shows. And then I think we met when he was on like tour or some shit as Chino XL, or just in my travels. 10 minutes as I was coming to LA. And then from there, just like, boom. But the crazy shit about our friendship and work life Me and Chino filled the void of Killah Priest. When me and Priest fell out, that's when Chino became my best friend.
What was your first impression of him?
This is a big motherfucker. I want this guy somehow associated to my team just for the safety of it. I knew he was the best. I knew he could wrap circles around everybody, but it's like you walk into a room with that guy, you got to feel better about yourself. You feel better about whatever the fucking situation of the day is. There's been plenty of times where dudes want to whoop my ass, and Chino's been there's like, not on my watch. Nah, not happening.
How would
Including
you
Chino.
describe the relationship you had with him?
Dude, Chino is family. Chino came to both my daughter's first and second birthdays, brought gifts. Chino would come with me to all these rock concerts. I knew his daughter's Lyric and Bella very well. That's what people don't understand. They think I'm just making this shit up. I never knew Chynna, the oldest daughter, existed. In 17 years, Chino did not mention her one time to me. Yes, I knew that his publishing company was called like For Chynna Music. That meant nothing to me. I didn't know this was a person. Like, you know, I said in interviews, like I heard about Lady London 100 times more than I ever heard about Chynna. And, you know, it's just, but Chino's family, dude. People have this really hard time like grasping that. Like, if me and Priest would have never fallen out, me and Chino would have just been like, it would have just been another work relationship because we weren't kicking it tough at all until there was no more Killah Priest in my life. What's really funny? Stacey Castro worked with Killah Priest too. Like she worked with Canibus. Like she worked with Killah Priest. Like she worked with Chino. Sorry.
Who's she exactly?
Stacey Castro was an executive producer and Chino's former manager on God, what fucking album? The one that tanked. The one with Wordsmith and Messiah.
I can't remember the name off the top of my head.
I know, right? Oh, Poison Pen.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, got you.
Yeah. So she was that. Then she was like this movie person, like an agent. Chino, dude, look at what fucking shit Chino was in. It's nothing to pat yourself on the back about. Good job, Stacey Castro, for landing him those very wild roles. It's not necessarily like M80 putting Chino on a Rakim album. Okay. Then Chino had fired her on and off throughout the course of these years. The last time she was quote unquote with management was 2018. I was the manager at Chino at the end of Chino's life. She cost Chino the opportunity to be on that show Pass the Mic with James Corden. And when Chino lost the opportunity, they gave one of the two positions to Method Man.
Wow.
Yeah. You know, she did more harm than good. And like everyone wants me to look like the fucking devil and the scapegoat of the situation when Chino passed, but gave him no aid. Gave him no aid when, you know, when he needed it during his lifetime. And I'm the bad guy somehow. Like I've worked with dozens of artists who have passed away. I'm literally doing an interview. I'm finishing it up. Thanks. So that's that. It's an insanely dumb situation, but like that's the kind of results you get when you're playing with people with fucking GEDs.
When you heard that he had passed away, do you remember exactly where you were and what was your initial reaction?
Yeah, I was standing 10 feet away from where I'm doing this interview right now. I fell to my knees on the concrete and started crying because I thought that he wasn't going to kill himself. Because I went to Australia for 2 weeks, and he told me before I left, "When you come back from Australia, I'm not going to be alive." I said, "Don't talk to me like that, dude. Like, stop. All of you, there's so many brighter days ahead. Wait till Rakim dropped. Like, he'd already pushed his album back from July 7th. Darkness in Our Colors was supposed to come out July 7th. He was mad about a lot of things. He felt like every great stride he was making in his lifetime, he'd feel good about it for a day and then be pushed 10 steps backwards. But no, I was at my house, me, my wife, my friend Darren, and Darren's wife Gia. And but when I came back from Australia, he was alive. We talked that Thursday, and then Rakim came out the next day. We talked on Friday, and then sometime between Saturday and Sunday morning is when he took his life. But when we talked on Friday, I said, come to the house, bring Lyric, bring whoever you want. You can stay the night. We have extra bedrooms. Like, have a pool day. We'll barbecue the whole nine. And that was the last time we talked.
So throughout the years, he gave you signs that he was struggling, like with his depression or anything, or
Well, yes, to me personally, as like a friend and trusted confidant, but I don't know why fans are so shocked to hear that he was this way. Go back and listen to any Chino record ever, and they're all very suicidal in nature. The whole Map of Bones album, like the family was upset about this song on Darkness in Our Colors called Words in the Color of Death. We finished the song in 2022. In fact, Chino took his life 2 years from the date on the second anniversary of when he sent me the song. Some fan pointed that out to me. I never realized it. I'm like, that's kind of crazy. That song on Darkness in Our Colors provides explanation for Chino taking his own life. Okay. And I'm on the song kind of like P. Diddy at the end of Suicidal Thoughts on Biggie's album. Chino texted, like, told me what to say. Like, you're worried about me and you haven't heard from me and blah, 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 blah. He sent me a script. I recorded it on a voicemail and he puts it on the album. So people were outraged. Like, M80 added himself to the album after Chino passed, and I had to provide proof that we finished the song. It showed the Pro Tools session. It's dated, the whole nine. It shows the metadata. It's 2022. Whatever. Then they got off my dick once again for the 4,000th time. But the album Map of Bones, recorded between 2008 and 2012, that would have come out before Reconstruction, is all very suicidal. Literally, the title track Map of Bones is about the only person that can kill me is me. Like, I am so strong. I am so blah, blah, blah. But everyone hates me. I can't do right by my family, by my friends. Like, the odds are stacked up against me. So someone commented that, and I'm glad someone pointed out because the song is dope. You hear the fucking hook. I'm sorry, mama. Your son just can't put down his gun. Like, it's dope. It's really dope. Someone pointed out that, like, this song is way more dark than that shit they were coming at you about. And it is. It fucking is. The whole album. Wait till you hear it. I think, again, I love God's Carpenter. That's my favorite Chino album. Shout out to Stu Bangers. Darkness in Our Colors. He, like, literally worked to perfection. That's why, like, these motherfuckers talking shit against me, shut the fuck up. You don't love Chino. You love the advent and the thought of making money. But if Chino was able to make money, he'd still be alive. These motherfuckers are so broke, they think, like, oh, we sold an apron, a t-shirt. Wow, we're doing something. I bought a Maybach and a Rolls Royce this week, in the same week. You think it's from Chino money? Shut the fuck up.
right. I wanted to ask you about
Hold on, wait. I'm going to get to the point. Chino, before he died, made sure that he got the album exactly how he wanted it and sent it to Body Bag Ben within like 2 weeks of his passing. This is my best, most personal work. This must see the light of day. Chynna them were offered to buy the rights to the album first and did not. They assumed that after Chino passed that all the rights revert back to them. That is not the law at all. My licensing catalog has DMX in it, Nipsey Hussle, Prodigy, Sean Price, Hussein Fatal, Big Pun, Nate Dogg, Fred the Godson. The list goes on and on and on. These people are no longer with us. If that was the law, that could not exist in my licensing catalog. So then it was offered to me. I said I would buy it. I'm the album's executive producer. I'm going to get credited regardless of how you feel about me. I've made the album. When the family didn't change their tune for like a month, that's when Ben's like, I will sell the album to you. But again, I believe that the Map of Bones album is a way more darker experience.
You said something in a video that if there was $1 million at the end of the rainbow, then Chino would still be with us with the amount
Correct.
of kids he had, exes, current girlfriends. So it was really a financial situation that drove him to.
Yes. The financial is one point of it. I don't want that to overshadow the rest. The main point is this. 3 years ago, Chino thought he needed a heart transplant. Turns out he didn't need a heart transplant. He needed stem cell recovery. The new stem cells aided his heart, and Chino was like rejuvenated. He felt like a fucking kid again. He was able to like work out again and go to the gym. Like if you look at photos of Chino like this, and you look at photos of Chino towards the end, Chino looked more like me at the end. All right? Gross. He used to be this fucking guy. All right? He was not healthy. The surgery, or the stem cells kept him alive for an extra couple of years. He needed the procedure again. My circumstances had changed for a couple reasons. One, I'm a father now. When I funded it the first time, I was not. So it's like, I already set up all my daughter's good for life. She's good. Then we did a loan deal with Chino's best friend, and Chino's best friend stole from me. Chino vouched for his friend. He vouched for the money. For anyone who's watched a gangster movie ever in their lifetime, especially an Italian mob movie, you know that the vouch is a major thing. If you're vouching for another man that's not you, and that situation gets fucked up, the vouch is on you. So she came to me for the money, and I said, I don't have it. Talk to your fucking friend who ran off with the money. I used to keep a bank account that Chino could have access to when he needed shit, if he needed. M80, someone hit my car, I need a new car. Cool, come get the bread. Really? Yeah, come on, come get it. This was after his friend stole from me. So I'm saying, like, we still did nice shit, but I wasn't in a position to want to do that again to the tune of $30,000, $40,000. Okay. And he's like, I can't. He's like, Bobby, the one who took the money that could have saved Chino's life. I'll say it again. Bobby, Chino's best friend, who stole the money that could have saved Chino's life, making you the worst human being in the fucking world. You willingly let your friend die. There's nowhere to be found. You know, whatever. He's in the wind. Probably got evicted from his house, probably losing his family because he's a piece of shit. I'll tell you to your fucking face, you're a piece of shit. You let my best friend die, and you let your best friend die. You let your best friend die. Bobby, about it, you absolute horrible fucking human being. It was more than the money. When he needed the surgery again, he told me his brain had turned to mush and he could not write. And if he couldn't write, there was no reason to live. And that's why he took his life.
Did he have like an issue with doing other things, like general things, or it was just conjuring up the thoughts in order to pen them?
Dude, imagine walking into a fucking like FedEx Kinko's and you see Chino XL with a Derek name tag. Ask him if you need help. Go to a fucking car lot. You know, like Canibus likes being an HVAC technician. So cool, go be an HVAC technician, but don't steal from people from rapping. Chino couldn't have been anything and found joy, real joy in life without hip hop.
Got you.
Yeah. I'm gonna end on that note, bro.
You don't want to talk about the China situation?
No, I got a family to get to, bro.
All right, man. Well, let
I
me
got
just
people in my backyard waiting for me to come join.
All right, M80. I just want to
Damn
thank
near
you for your
drank a
time,
bottle of
man.
Maker's Mark talking to you. But you can see, that's why people never know with me, dude. Like, for all you know, I could be drunk as a skunk or I could be fucking just about to win, you know, the championship of Jeopardy. I'm always on point. I expect excellence and I expect the kind of work ethic I display from all those people I allow to be around me. So when people start, you know, working at a lesser than level, that's when shit goes wrong. You know, China, just real quick. China liked me plenty when I paid the funeral home for Chino's funeral expenses. She liked me plenty when she found out that there was 30 some fans that Chino and his assistant Michelle, some human piece of trash too, didn't fucking fill all the God's Carpenter orders. And she bought like 30 God's Carpenter vinyls. I was like, you don't have to buy them. Like I can get you the vinyls. It costs like $6, $7 a piece of shit. They liked me plenty when I helped. When they realized that I was the only person alive that knew who owned what music, and none of it was owned by Chino, and therefore they don't get to steal from the world, and they don't get to put it all out and profit from it and fuck over all these people. That's when it was like, fuck M80. He wasn't friends with my dad. Like, like your dad. Like, look, come on. Chino had 3 daughters, and you're the like. Lyric and Bella are the top 2 Chino's favorites, and then you are a far number 3. Like, stop overplaying your hand. Stacey Castro was fired so long ago, so many times. These people are such fucking losers and nothing going on with their life. Every fucking day for me is my greatest hits. Oh, I did the executive producer Rakim album and our Wu-Tang Clan album. Fucking just did this shit with Snoop Dogg. What the fuck do I have to complain about?
But you don't.
And for Chino, like everything I did for Killah Priest, like everything I just did for Canibus to pay off his debt so he can rap again and his fucking 500 or less fans can enjoy his music because I care. I'm starting to not care about a lot of things and care way more about me.
What do you say to the fans that say that you're disrespecting Chino by disrespecting his oldest daughter?
Chino's oldest daughter already did enough disrespect to Chino in his lifetime, so it doesn't matter. Chino's daughter, Chynna, is the reason he was in financial ruin. And I can say that, and you can fucking print this. I don't have to worry about slander. I don't have to worry about libel because Chino told so many people that. Again, he never once mentioned China to me, so he didn't say it to me. Chino told so many people that he never financially recovered from paying for her destination wedding. Now she's getting divorced. And Chino, she disrespected the fuck out of him at the wedding, though he's literally the reason it was funded. He never recovered from that shit, dude. Listen, this the I hate to like say this like I'm proud of myself because my friend's gone.
Right.
The last 2 record deals I brokered for Chino financially were greater than the 6 he did without me. The last 2 features I brokered for Chino were greater than the last 12 or more he did without me. I was so happy when they launched ChinoXL.com and are selling 1,000 things that no one in the world cares about. Because now I get to prove that Chino also made more money on marketing, branding, merchandising, the whole 9 with me. So that made me the fucking secret ingredient.
Do you empathize with Chynna as she lost her father and this could be a traumatic response?
No, because she didn't love him. That's what we figured out. Why is this woman mad at me? I'm the one who paid to save his life. I am the one who paid for the funeral. I provided all the aid. No, they didn't provide any aid. You think Chino didn't reach out to his family and exes and shit like that for aid? No, they all fucking, of course he did. He got shut down every fucking which way he looked. You think Immortal Technique did anything? Immortal Technique, remember, said in a post, I'm going to buy all these album masters. He's going to tell me who owns what, give them to the family. I bought 2 of them, gave them to Lyric and Bella. I'm waiting to see if Tech does what he said he was going to do. Let me know when that happens. I'm not talking shit. Just let me know when it happens. And now that the family's divided, go buy 2 and give 1 to Lyric and Bella, give 1 to Chynna. For every problem, there's a solution. The reason Chynna hated me is because she's always wanted him gone. Once you bleed a motherfucking turnip of all its color, what's left? Chino never financially recovered, bro. That's what everyone keeps telling me, bro. Like, she's mad at you because you kept him alive all these extra years.
It's unfortunate, man.
It's the stupidest, craziest shit ever. But again, Chino himself did not tell me this. This is what 30 plus people that were close to Chi have told me. It did not make sense to me. How could anyone think I'm disrespecting this man? Motherfucker, have you ever even kicked a stack to your best friend in need? Let alone 50,000? Chino, I'm gonna pay you back. Shut up, Chi. You ain't paying me shit. If you look at my financial records with Chino, he sent me $500 one time. Very nice of him. I didn't do this shit because it was a money play. Some other dickhead Chino worked with named Saint, who Chino was supposed to live with, and then Saint's wife said no because she thought he was going to kill himself, which he clearly did. Saint's like, oh, Chino, like you were like he was using you and blah blah blah. I'm like, dude, don't confuse me with you, bro. I'm somebody. I'm a player. Like I better all these motherfuckers' lives. Doesn't matter if they're Wu-Tang Clan or Snoop or whoever the fuck they are. I am a common denominator of greatness in anyone's life I work with, especially if I care about you. Unless you're just a money play to me, cool, let's get money. If I care about you, you got to ride or die for life. That's it.
All right, M80.
No, Chynna and them aren't. And Chynna was brainwashing Lyric and Bella to speak against me. I mean, this is their oldest sister. Like, it didn't matter what they knew of me and what she had told them. This is their oldest sister trying to put them up on game. I mean, he's bad. He's bad. No, like, it's not what it seems. Lyric never fell for it at all. Lyric's like, before dad passed, he literally said, if anything ever happens to me, you can trust M80. Chynna was able to convince Bella, the middle daughter, M80's bad. Bella one time sent me a very scathing message. And I wrote her back. I said, look, I know you're hurting right now, but like in time, you'll realize the lies that your oldest sister's telling you are just that, they're lies. And I forgive you now, and I'll forgive you then. And Bella's back. Chynna would say on the social media posts, her and Stacy, like, we don't condone what M80's doing. Like, fuck him. He's bad. We would never divide up the estate. Like, our intention is not to like. We don't want M80 a part of it. We want to work with our family. And then what happened? Chynna got control of the estate, and Lyric and Bella have nothing. So when I give them the album masters to Darkness in Our Colors and Map of Bones and all the proceeds, like I said I was going to do from the onset. Bro, do you know how many fucking apology messages I get in my DMs from all these dick-sucking fuckers? Oh, man, I'm so sorry. I didn't have all the fucking receipts, or like, I believed like Chynna was going to do right. Cool. Thanks. I'm done. So that's that. The truth always fucking sees the light of day.
You work too much. Don't do it.
I work too much?
You're worth.
I'm worth too much?
I don't. Who are you fighting?
I'm not fighting with anyone. I'm doing an interview. Here, look. Hey, check this out. Here's my shoe. I'm going to throw it at her.
Catch.
Take that, bitch.
What's a receiver over here?